Hello, everyone. Happy Monday night. Welcome to another weekly live. Hold on, I'm just closing out some windows on my computer so I can focus on you all. Okay, so if you were here right before I went live, there was a typo in the title. It is not a weekly replay. This is the weekly live. I fixed it. So those of you who are who came in, right as it was starting, you should have the correct title. But today we're going to be doing some mail art inspired by my little walk to the mailbox today, where I picked up my latest postage stamp order. I realized I hadn't ordered new postage stamps in a few months, and I like to keep up with all of the new postage stamps that USPS puts out. So I had quite a large order this time with just stamps that have come out in the last few months, including some Barbie stamps, which I think are super fun. So before we get to looking at the postage stamps, I wanted to let you guys know that I updated the postage chart. So this is the one from today. This is my old one. I leave it in one of these like plastic storage sleeves from SSS Stamp. So I'm going to swap these out and put the new one on. But before I do that, I wanted to show you guys, I thought this was just so interesting. Those of you, I thought you might find it fascinating, comparing the prices from what they were before to what they changed to on the 12th, which I think is really, really interesting. You know, while people are still coming in to the live, we'll just do this. Okay, so I'll use my pen here to point things out. So before, year ago or whatever, this is the pricing. So basically what I find interesting is the non-machinable price across the board stayed the same. Notice they're all 49 cents across, right? With the most recent changes, the pricing, only the base price changed for all of our domestic postage. That's the only thing that changed. All of the additional surcharges for heavier envelopes or things like that, those all stayed the same. I thought that was really interesting. So the base price is the only thing that changed when you're mailing within the US. So if you have forever stamps, and you have some in your stash and you're ready to use them, you're not going to notice a huge difference because the prices have stayed the same. However, for international, things have gone up and down in some cases, which I thought was really interesting. So looking at the Canadian panel here, we'll just do this, cover that up. We're just looking at Canada. Just the base price for everything international went up by 5 cents, which is it's about what it went up for everything else. So non-machinable is the same. Interestingly, the 1 to 2 ounce doubled. I think that's kind of crazy, like the amount extra you have to pay. And then it also went up on the 2 to 3 and 3 to 3.5. Okay, where it gets interesting is Mexico and the rest of the world. Look at this. Okay, so it kind of the additional price is not that much difference. Like the 1 to 2 ounce, it stayed the same for Mexico. It went up 5 cents for 2 to 3 ounces, and it went down 5 cents for 3 to 3.5. Isn't that so interesting? The rest of the world is, it went up by 5 cents as, just 1 additional ounce, and then it went up for the 2 to 3 ounce, but then it went down by 5 cents. I just think it's fascinating. I don't know how they figure out these prices, but that is where we're at. I just thought that was so interesting. So I have the link to the postage chart down below in the video description. If you want to get your own printed postage chart, you can just print it at home. I like to print mine double-sided. So on the back, I have all of the countries. So if I'm ever sending a letter to, I don't even know, Latvia, I can look it up and find out that Latvia is in zone 4 and then or group 4, and then I can look on the chart. So This is the new postage chart. Our prices went up as of the 12th of July. So it's been, I don't know, about a week. So this is just how I keep mine. So we'll refer to this later. We're going to do mail art today. So a lot of you probably know the drill. If you would like your address to be considered for tonight's envelope, go ahead and submit your address at the Google form down below in the video description. Andrea, I see you in the chat right now. If you could grab that link and pop that in the chat right now, that would be fantastic. It's just a link to a Google form where you're going to fill out some information. You're going to verify that you are okay with me using your address. So if you want to use your business address, you know, where you work, or a P.O. box or anything like that, you definitely can. I'm just going to pick an address at random for tonight's mail art. Okay, let's look at some postage, some new postage that's prompted this live tonight. So first of all, what made me go over and frantically purchase some stamps are the new Barbie postage stamps. Aren't these so cute? I kind of wish they were almost a little bit more colorful, but I totally get it. Over here on the side, it says that she's had 250 different careers since she debuted back in 1959. And it's so fun. They've got like music star, soccer player, judge. I love that she looks like RBG. Robotics engineer, sign language teacher, paleontologist, firefighter, astronaut, surgeon, and a registered nurse. So fun. So like if you guys, if you have any nurses in your life, how fun would it be to send them a card and have a nurse postage stamp on it? Or if you know anyone who knows ASL, American Sign Language, you could totally do this one right here. And I love that the Barbie's holding up the I love you sign. So cool. Or love you sign. So this is the set of postage stamps that prompted my huge, massive stamp order. But let's look at the other ones. The other one that I'm actually really excited about, I think I bought 4 sheets of this. Look how fun these are. American Icons created by Ralph Lauren. So cool, right? I love the teddy bear. I love the lighthouse, Empire State Building, sailing. We've got horses. A hamburger. What is more American than that? Lots of fun, different icons. So we'll also pick what postage stamp I'm using tonight. I think I'll put it as a poll. We'll pick out which ones you want me to use, and then we'll base the mail art on that as well. All right, this one was really fun. I thought this was really good because I like to pick out like the postage based on the color of the postage stamp. So here's one for International Peace. We have, I think that's a crane, right? A white crane. Almost looks like it could be a dove. Is that what they're going for? I have no idea. Do they tell us on the back? They don't. I just thought that was really pretty. And the blue is really nice. So yeah. Andrea is saying she got the Mr. Rogers stamps, among others. Then they brought back the Mr. Rogers stamps. They had like a whole social media campaign where people were voting to bring back stamps from recent years. And that was the one that they brought back. I happen to still have many of the original stamps, so I didn't need to buy more, but I love that. All right. Here's another one that's really kind of cool. This is for the Declaration of Independence. And I like that they made the 1776 out of feathers that look like quills almost. Isn't that kind of fun? I like an origami crane. Yes, it is a crane. That's what I was thinking. I love the font treatment for 1776 Forever USA, Declaration of Independence. I just think this is so classy. I love that. By the way, if any of you, if you haven't yet, watch the new documentary on Netflix. I think it's called The Great American Experiment. I think that's what it's called. Fascinating documentary. I learned so much. All right, going along with that patriotic theme, we have Bald Eagles from Hatchling to Adult. I like these. I'm not inspired to do any mail art with them today, but I do like them. Along those same lines, look at these cool bison stamps. They're really cool because like the whole stamp, let me see if I can start to peel it up. the whole stamp is like this, but then it's got like a smaller stamp on the inside. It's like Stampception. It's so fun. Yeah, I just thought that was really kind of cool. And I like that it's very monochromatic, like sepia. All right, we have the postage system or United States Postal Service. They come out with quite a few of these just flag stamps. But what's interesting about these is they remind me of the flags. In fact, I think it is. It's this flag right here, which that's its own. Do you guys see that? You can peel this up. Hold on. It's like one big sticker. It's not a stamp itself, but they have that same like knitted flag image. It's totally knitted. Isn't that so fun? So it looks like on a sweater. I thought that was really, really neat. Okay, because I was like, oh, I wish they would have had a stamp with the sweater flag on it. They did. Okay, I'm saving the really interesting one here for a minute. Okay, here's this book. It comes as a booklet, Treasures of the Revolutionary Era. So it like walks you through some different things. And then the stamps are inside and it has like artifacts, like vintage historical items, you know, like a Battle of Yorktown map, Commander-in-Chief flag, a signboard, soldier's watercolor. Just really kind of cool. And they explain what each one is inside. So if you have any like Revolutionary War history buffs, or if you are one yourself, that's kind of cool. So I got 2 of those. And then how fun are these? Okay. The stamps themselves are triangles. So cool. You can like fit them up into the corner of your envelope. And I love that it's really fun colors. Let's look at this closer. So there's like a space person. Well, let's start down here. It's like, these are global stamps, by the way. So these are actually worth $1.75 a piece. So you can definitely use it on your domestic mail, but this is great for international stuff. So we have a cowgirl, cowboy, I'm not sure. Then we have like underwater scuba diving. We have a person in space. And I love that they're holding a postcard. That's so funny. And then this one is a person on a motorcycle. And in all of these, they're holding like a letter or a postcard. I just thought that was so fun. Now, I have seen some like vintage stamps that are triangles like this. I don't have very many myself, but I think they're so cool. So I'm glad that they came out with some like updated forever stamps that are that triangle shape that will fit right into the corner of an envelope. So neat. All right. So let's pick out what postage we're going to be inspired by. I'm thinking just for color wise, this is a really fun color palette. So this one for sure. And then I think we sort of have to do Barbie, right? I think we kind of have to do Barbie. And then I'm also thinking maybe we'll do the American icons, which I think like it could be interesting to like do something with like the hamburger, and maybe it's like a bunch of fries and I don't know, like the person's address or on French fries. I don't know. It could be, I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. But we're going to take a vote. So we're either going to do Barbie, triangle, or American icons. Excuse my keyboard here. I have to type this in. Okay. Start a poll. What stamp should I use? We're going to do Ralph Lauren icons, Barbie, or triangles. Helps if I spell triangle right. Okay, so I've started the poll. We're going to let that go for a minute. While that is going, I'm going to go pick out. Does someone have French fried eyes? You know I do. I'm going to go pick out the person's address. So if you have not submitted your address, now is the time. I'm about to go pick out the address. All right, I'm going to the very bottom here. All right, let's do, actually, you know what? Maybe I should wait to see if we're going to do the triangle one, because if we do the triangle one, we're going to need an international address, right? I think that would take advantage of that. So we'll wait for a minute. I don't entirely know what I would do for each one of these. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for myself based on what postage stamp you guys give me to do. Okay. Well, it's looking like Barbie's winning. Barbie was the one that I was almost like most concerned about, because I don't have like a direct inspiration with her, but that's okay. I'm going to end the poll. We're going to go with Barbie. And we're going to figure out what we're doing with Barbie. Okay, so I'm assuming most of you who have submitted your addresses like just today are probably in the chat. So after I pick the person's address, why don't we ask them if they have a preference? Like, is there one of the occupations that like really means something to those whoever's picked? So let's go with well, this would be fun. I'm assuming she's submitted her address before, but I don't think I've ever done it. And I really should. Our own little live chat moderator, Andrea. So, Andrea, is there a particular Barbie stamp that you love? I'm just going to let you answer in the chat. I almost wanted to put Florida, but definitely Texas. Okay. Andrea's very excited. Okay. Make sure I have your address written down, right? I'm going to double check here. Okay, it looks like it's right. The judge, yes, Ruth Barbie Ginsburg. I love that. Oh, soccer player. Okay, you played in your city league when you were a kid. Perfect. Okay, so we've got some pinks and greens. We're going for soccer. What if we made the whole envelope look like a soccer ball? And like her address is in one of the pentagons, right? The 5-sided on a soccer ball. I think that could be really, really interesting. So I'm just going to Google soccer ball pattern, because maybe I can get something that I can, oh, that's perfect. Although when it's flat and not on a round ball, it looks like bathroom tile. Isn't that interesting? Fascinating. Okay. It's basic. Wait, those are like hexagons. Is it hexagons on a soccer ball? I thought it was like 5-sided. I am so confused. I think it is 5-sided, but these patterns are like, it must be 5-sided because it's a 3D object, right? And I can write goal on the envelope. Yeah. Soccer balls are only 5-sided. Wait. The black parts are 5-sided. The white parts are 6-sided. Fascinating. How interesting is that? I'm just like looking on Google, and I've never looked at soccer balls close enough to realize that that's what it is. Interesting. Huh. Okay, so we could do that, or we could do, what if it was, ooh, what about this idea? What if it was like a bunch of like grass, like layers of grass, and do different like colors of green. And then maybe like down here at the bottom, there's a soccer ball. Like that could be kind of cool. Like, where would we put her name? Okay, this postage stamp is really tall. And we'll probably do a couple other little vintagey stamps. And then what if her name is just like bloop, 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 going across, and then there's her address. It's called a truncated icosahedron. Wow. Yeah, it's kind of like a honeycomb in black and white, but like not really. Okay, so if we're going to do that, okay, let's get a 5x7 envelope, because we're going to need all the space we can get. All right. And I'm going to get 2 of them just because I'm paranoid that I'm going to mess up and I'm going to need another one. Okay. And I do want to make sure that we pull in some of this. This green right here it's kind of like a jungly green. It's not a grass green, but we could just make sure we use that green. That would work. Okay. Got my 2 envelopes here. I feel like I need to get like a reference for the soccer ball. So while I'm at Google, I'm just going to Is there like a free clip art of a soccer ball I could use? I think I'm just going to try to find like a free soccer ball that I can use, because I just need a reference. I'm not going to like, I don't know. Okay, hold on. I'm getting this one right here. It's an SVG. Okay, well, that would work. Am I going to have to buy this from Etsy? I might have to buy it from Etsy. Hold on, y'all. Actually, you know what? I'm going to draw it myself. All right, taking a screenshot. And then it'd be so much easier just to print it though. You know what? I think I really just need to buy it. Ooh, I know. Hold on. I'm going on a wild goose chase to find an image that I can use. Okay, where? I really just like that one I saw at Etsy. But now I'm trying to remember my Etsy login. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Buy it now. Do it. Buy it now. Okay. Andrew, I'm so glad you decided to tune in. How about a partial ball in the right corner with the address going around it? That could be interesting. All right, download. All right. Let me just look at this. That's perfect. Okay, so on the envelope, how big do we want the ball? I'm thinking like maybe 1.5 inches large. Like not too crazy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly print the soccer ball image at about maybe 1.25 inches better, but I'm going to print it really fast, and then I can just use that as a reference while I create the envelope. Okay, we want it about 1 inch, like 1.3. Whoa, it went down to 0, 1.3. Okay, and I'll make a couple of these. We're going to print this really fast. Lovely. Sorry you can't see what I'm doing. I'm trying to like make sure I'm talking through what I'm doing so that you guys aren't just like sitting there. Okay, I'm gonna go grab the soccer ball image. In fact, if I was really being ambitious, I would just print the soccer ball on the envelope, but that is not what I'm doing today. Okay, printer's in the other room, so I grab that. Oh, that's the perfect size. That'll be great. All right, going through 5 million doors to keep cats out. All right, so here we have our soccer ball image. Okay. All right, I'm gonna cut out one of these soccer balls. I'll keep the other one just for reference, I think. Okay, that's my backup. You know what I should have done? I should have printed it on masking paper. That's okay. Whatever. All right. So I'm thinking we'll put the soccer ball down in the corner. We're going to have all like the little like layers of grass. In fact, maybe we'll have like blue sky at the top. I think that could be really nice. And then we'll have the pink postage. In fact, you know what? Maybe I should have it on this side because we're going to have all the postage up here, and then we can have her name. I'm just trying to rethink all this. I like it down in that corner though. Yeah, we'll do that. And we'll do a bunch of green, like layers of grass. Like, you know, have you ever seen those, what's the word? Like different horizon, different layers. And then we'll have a bunch of sky at the top. I should really just be using my pencil. I think I want the horizon to intersect the middle of the postage stamp. So it needs to come about right here. So we'll have like, and I also want the soccer ball to maybe be in the grass. So we'll have one layer right there, one right there, one right there. So you basically need 4 colors of green. Sorry, you guys can't really see my pencil marks very well. We'll need 4 layers of green. And then we'll have 1 soccer ball. And to get a really crisp soccer ball, I think I will grab a little bit of masking paper. And I'm going to find a circle die to cut out a circle, because that will make it perfect. It doesn't have to be, you know, like the exact size, but we'll just try to get something similar. Okay, so these are the SSS Stamp Nested Circles. That's what that one looks about right. It's a little bigger, but I think that'll work. So I'm just going to cut out a mask for us to use. Okay. All right, so there's our little soccer ball mask. All right. And it'll just be kind of like sitting in the grass right there. I'm thinking I want to do, I think I'm going to color the sky and then work down. I think that's what's going to be best. So let's put this mask on first. And I'm going to use acrylic paint pens. I've sort of been obsessed with acrylic paint pens as of late. Okay, so there's our little spot for our soccer ball. Okay, so I'm going to use these acrylic markers. Those of you who are in my membership here at YouTube, you will have seen these markers before. Let me grab a link for, where's my Amazon? For those of you new, and I'll just put it in the chat because these are amazing markers. And I want to make sure you have a link in case you want them. Okay, get link. Okay. All right, there's the link for the markers. So I'm going to pick out 4 colors of green and also a blue for the sky. So we do want, like, this is the swatch sheet that comes with the markers. I bought the largest set. I think it's 360. And we want to match the green of her shirt. So I'm thinking, I think that's pretty close. So 942. And thankfully I have all of my markers stored in order of number, so I can just grab them. And of course they're like in this huge heavy case. Okay, so I'm grabbing 942. Oh, it's Brittany's birthday. Love it. Or in 2 months, I guess it will be. I'm not sure. Okay, so we want that green. I'm thinking maybe a darker one, 795. We need 4 colors of green. That one. Let's see. I think we could skip all the way to 740. Where are you, 740? Okay. And then 687. 687. Okay, perfect. And now we need like a nice blue sky. We've got all these blues down here. I'm kind of thinking maybe this one right here, 821. 821. There we go. Okay. So there are all of our colors. I'm just going to put this case back down. It's very heavy. Okay. And now we get to start coloring all the grass and the sky. And since we're going to be working our way down, we don't have to worry about, what am I thinking of? Like drawing in the lines beforehand. Okay, so this is 821. I'm going to be coloring off the edge, so I'm going to grab just a piece of scratch paper, and I'm probably going to have to do a couple of layers to make sure it's nice and opaque. So we'll just get going here. We are making a whole soccer field or pitch, whatever you want to call it. Probably should have shaken this up. Hold on. There we go. Oh, I'm not going to blend with them. This is going to be like very flat color. But I am going to just have different layers here. So I'm thinking maybe I'll color one layer and then I'll come back and do another layer on top. Now I'm using just like a regular envelope. Like it's not meant for like tons of moisture. So I'm going to have to make sure that each layer is dry before I color on top again. And I'm going in one direction, and then I'm going to go back over like the opposite direction. So I'm kind of going like vertical strokes. I'm going to come back and go sideways. Okay. I'm going to hit this with my heat tool just to help it dry. Whoa, I really didn't like that. Help it dry so I can do another layer. I have noticed, especially with these lighter colors of these markers, that you really do have to do a couple of layers for it to really be opaque. But it will start to look much more solid here in a moment. You know, once we've got a couple of layers going here. It's really interesting to see how the colors dry because they look so light when you first apply them. And then as they dry, it changes. This is going to take a minute. Sorry, y'all. Maybe I should have just done some masking and done ink blending or something. But I really wanted the colors to be nice and solid. Okay. All right, that's pretty good. Okay, as far as these greens go, I want it to go like light to dark. So we're going to dry this to make sure that edge is dry. All right, I'm trying to decide, do I want to do just like, kind of like, I'm thinking like just grass blades. Like a grass blade, like, you know, like, just like that, going all the way across. And maybe it's, for the most part, pretty flat, but then you have like, and we want it to come down to about right here. Okay, the corners are curling up. So I might have to put, in fact, I'm going to put like, how many sheets is this? I'm going to do like 3 sheets of white cardstock inside. And it'll just hold the corners out flat. There's no bleeding with these acrylic markers, these paint pens, but There we go. Now it'll stay nice and flat. I'm gonna shake this up a little bit as well. Okay, and I'll just continue coloring. This is going to be a lot of just coloring flat color until we get to the soccer ball. I was thinking of having like higher grass, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think like on a soccer field that the grass is really cut really tall. Isn't it fairly short? I mean, it's not like AstroTurf or anything, but isn't it fairly short? Okay, dry this really quick. I love how like bright it is. It kind of looks like a cartoon. All right, and then we'll come back through and just kind of go right down the middle. Most of these need like a couple of layers. Let me kind of shake the marker up a little bit. The paint coming out is always a little bit better right after you shake it. Okay. And a little more right down here at the bottom. This just till it's dry. All right, we'll go to the next one, which is like a really bright green. And we'll just go right along that edge. Should have shaken this up again. Okay, shaking this up. This is going to be kind of a big section. And it's coming to like right here. So why don't we just... gonna shake this up a little bit. Were any of you guys watching the World Cup? I wasn't really like watching it a ton. My husband was. He's a big soccer guy. But I was loving seeing all these people on social media who were in the US for the World Cup. I loved seeing all of their reactions to things in America. And I just thought it was fun. You know what? Probably would have made this easier if I would have just picked a green envelope. Now that I think about it, probably would have been easier. All right, I'm going to dry this really fast. just to make sure I can do another layer immediately. I'll also take the opportunity to shake the marker really well. If you slow down, you also get a little bit better coverage. So I'm mostly going down the middle, and then I'll go down the top and bottom again for that extra coverage. I'll just go down right along that edge there. Okay. Going to the next, wow, that one's like really dark. Is that the right color? I think it is. Okay, so now this one's going to be going over the soccer ball. You shake this up really well. This is the color that matches Barbie's jersey. All right, and this one's going right across right there. This is a really pretty green. I like it. I went to a friend's house to play Mahjong last night, and they were, well, I guess it was yesterday afternoon, and they were watching the World Cup. So I caught the last half of the halftime show. So good. Got there in time to see Ted Lasso and Justin Bieber performing, as well as BTS and Shakira. So that was fun. That was pretty solid going all the way across there. That marker was particularly juicy. Let's dry it real fast. Then I'll just go over it. Wait, the new Ted Lasso starts August 5th? I thought it wasn't until like November or something. Yay. That's awesome. You know what? Now that you mention that, I think I did know that because that happens to be the day when my husband and I are leaving to go on our big trip for the solar eclipse. And so I was sad that I was going to miss it. And I was like, well, maybe we can download the first episode before we get on the cruise ship. Okay. All right, and the last green, this really dark green. Let's dry this, and then we'll do the last section. That was a really solid green. I liked it. Okay, so I think I'm actually going to peel up the soccer ball now so that I can have this other grass going over the top of it. In fact, maybe we should draw the soccer ball now. I'm penciling in the bottom edge of the soccer ball. Oh, isn't that lovely? I love that. Okay, so how in the world am I drawing this? Yikes. Okay. Well, I think I will do a black outline, so I don't have to worry about that, but oh my word. You know what I'm going to do? We're going to trace it. It's just about the right size. It's actually just a little bit what's the word? Smaller. But I really just need to get the top edge and like most of it kind of centered. So we'll just do this. And then get the soccer ball kind of centered. And then I can use a little bit of Easy C tape just to hold that in place. And then, let's see, do I want to do pencil or marker? We'll just do pencil. And I'm going to make sure that's transferring. It is. Lovely. And I'm just tracing the shape. Doesn't have to be exact because I am going to go over it with a black marker, but all right, how do we look? Nice. Oh, there's nothing in the visual supply list right now, Wendy. I haven't updated it because I didn't know what I'd be doing. So it's not, there's nothing there yet. Okay. All right. And then that's black, that's black, that's black, and that's black. Okay. Cool. All right. I'm going to get my black marker. I have some black acrylic markers. These are Posca. Is this the right size I'm looking for? Yeah, that's about the right size. So it is another black marker, but it's just not the one from this other set with the greens and blues that I was using. So it'll go on about like that. So I'm going to trace the outer circle. This bottom part will be covered up by that next layer of grass, but that's okay. This obviously won't be perfect, but you'll be able to tell that it's a soccer ball. It's definitely not a perfect circle. Okay. It is what it is. It's not perfect, but it is what it is. All right. I'm going to try that really fast so I can move on. And now we're going to do that last layer of grass. What paper am I using? This is a regular envelope, like from Paper Source. It's just like a regular envelope. Acrylic markers are generally pretty good about like not breaking down the paper as long as you take your time, and like I've been drying in between. Maybe I should have had the ball a little bit less deep in the grass, but that's okay. Maybe there's a hill and it's blocking the view of the ball. I also could go back and fix that. Just add the white back on top. Huh. I might have to do that. I'm going to have to decide here in a moment. See if that's blocked. I think it'll be okay. Okay, hold on. I'm going to shake up my marker. I do not notice any smell with these markers. I think most acrylic markers don't have that odor. Hold on, I'm going to shake this up again. Okay, I'm going to dry this and just go over it a little bit. There's a couple little spots that don't have quite as much coverage. Okay, so cute. I like that. All right, let's put the Barbie stamp on right now so that we have an idea of how much space we have for Andrea's address. And we'll put some additional postage stamps on there too. Okay, so I'm trying to think exactly how I want to do her address. I want it to kind of like arch over. I'm trying to think exactly how I want to do it. All right. I'm just going to pencil. I'm thinking like if I can get her name about like that. Like we want, hold on, I'm going to pencil that on right there. And I want to make sure that I can erase whatever I put on top. Where'd my eraser go? Okay, it does erase. Let's see here. Okay. I almost want to do like a practice run. All right, I'm going to grab I think I want to have her address, her name in white. So I'm going to grab a white marker. Oh, I must have put it away. Hold on. Why am I not seeing my white marker? Oh, that's because it's already out on my desk. Okay. Like, do I want to just go for it? Or do I want to? Oh, I want to practice. I want to practice, but I'm going to need a different color of paper because it's the white pen. Hold on. Let me find some scratch cardstock that I can do this on. All right, I've got this random bit of powder cardstock. Okay. I'm glad I'm practicing this because I'm realizing that what I had planned to do might not work. Where it's all in like one line or two. Okay. Can go about like that. Can I split your name on 2 lines like that? I have no idea. Is like D your middle name and your last name is Lavigne? Or what, Andrea? I need some direction. Can I split your name like that? Or does the D Lavigne need to be on 1 line? You let me know in the chat. I know there's a delay, so I just have to wait. So I'm just going to sit here and talk until Andrea tells me what to do. Still waiting. I wonder how much of a delay there really is. I have no clue. Okay, D is middle initial. Okay, yes, so it can be on 2 lines. Okay. Okay, perfect. In fact, you know what? Because I don't want to mess this up, I'm going to do a little of this. Okay. This is just going to help me get some spacing right. I'm glad I'm doing this because I realized I needed to do some different spacing. There we go. I do not blend with acrylic markers, so unfortunately, I'm not your gal. I use them exactly like this, just like as flat color. Okay. I'm going to do that right there. And I'm planning to do a black outline around her name. So if it doesn't show all that well right now, I'm not that concerned. Okay. I'll fix that in a moment. Do the descender. Okay, then we'll do okay. And then her address is going to go down below, probably in white gel pen. Maybe I don't want to do a black outline because that doesn't look half bad. I am going to go over it again though, because I want it to be more solid. And at the bottom of the downstrokes, it tends to lose some of its opacity, like where I change directions. Shake this up a little bit. Oh yeah, so much more opaque once I shake up the marker. Shake the marker up again. It's absolutely surreal. It's too funny. I was planning to do a black outline on the lettering, but I think it's kind of okay without. All right. Let's get that in there. I think I do want to put a little bit of a shadow on it though. So let me dry this. Okay, so I'm wondering if I need to do another acrylic marker for the shadow, or if I can use like a regular marker, because then it would be a little bit transparent. Hold on, let me look at my brush markers, my Karen brush markers, because I think I could probably do like this. Let's see. And since I've cut this all apart over here, let's just, if I do that marker, let's try it real quick. If I do this marker on top, is it just going to slide off? It's not absorbing, it's staying pretty wet. Hold on. Ooh, I think it eventually dries. We're good. It does eventually dry. That's what we want. Okay, so it does sort of kind of have like a wet spot where it dries, but I think it'll be okay. It kind of dries a little darker than it looks when you first put it down, which is interesting. Just putting these shadows in. Sorry, I have to like concentrate so much when I'm doing this so that I don't put a shadow where it's not supposed to be. Okay. Lovely. Okay, so now I'm going to do the rest of her address just with a white gel pen. I think that's what will look best. So I'm trying to decide exactly if I want to do, I think I do want to pencil on a line. Well, do we want to? Yeah, I think I do. Let's see here. Everything's kind of at a little bit of a diagonal, so I think I want to continue that. And then we'll put the zip code down here. Interestingly, I can see the lines that I drew on the camera, on the screen, more than I can see in front of me because of the angle. It's just fascinating. Okay, let's see here. I want to get her address over here so I can see it better. Okay, and I'm kind of thinking in my head, okay, this is about how big I'm going to write it. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see, I'm trying to think. Okay. Okay. Sorry, so silent. It's all people in the chat sometimes say they're like, I'm holding my breath. All right, I'm only going to do your 5-digit zip code because that's all it needs. It'll get to where it's going. Okay. Sometimes your gel pen decides to stop working, so you can use the warmth from your hand to kind of get it going again. Okay. All right, so I need to let the white gel pen dry a little bit before I go back in and erase the pencil. So I'm going to do my return address on the other side. Let me just grab a black pen. Okay. Truth be told, I've had a few envelopes in the last couple months that are taking their sweet time getting to their recipient. So I might actually put this into a different envelope and just with a regular label on it and then mail it off to Andrea. But most of the time you can mail it exactly like this, like no issues. Okay, I'm seeing a wet spot up here still. Well, maybe not. Okay, I'm going to, where'd my eraser go? Here it is. Really lightly erase the pencil lines. I think we're good there. All right, we need to add, I want to do just like a couple more postage stamps up here, and then we could call it. And it has been an hour and 20. Granted, we spent the first 20 looking at postage stamps, but you know, whatever. Okay. All right, so we want maybe some vintage stamps. There actually is, oh, you know what I should have done? I totally missed the opportunity. There is a stamp that is a soccer ball. Have you guys seen that one? It's just a forever stamp, but I totally could have used that as the soccer ball. Okay, what am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm putting this marker back in its box. And we're going to pick out some additional postage. Okay, so I think I'm going to do color. We'll do it by color because that's where most of my vintage ones are. Sorted by color. Okay. So I have a good portion of all of my postage in these postage albums, and they're sorted by color. So I'm thinking maybe we should pull in a little bit more of that pink that's on like this background right here. Pull in some more pink. So, oh look, there's those triangle stamps I was talking about. Here's our pink section. That could be a fun one because it's got the blue and the pink in it. I really like that. Let's find another one. Maybe we could do something green. How do we feel about Thomas Jefferson? That's a nice green one. We could put it like that's kind of fun. You totally had to pause my last video to place a Barbie stamp order. Love it. Yes, you can put a stamp not in the top corner. In fact, it would count as postage. It would just make it non-machinable at that point. So you'd have to put on extra postage, but you can use it. That's essentially what the graceful envelope contest is. which is displayed at the USPS Smithsonian, the Postal Museum. The whole idea behind that contest is you take a postage stamp and you incorporate it into the design of your envelope. So this would be a good one where you could have the soccer ball be the actual postage. If I would have thought about it at the time, but I totally spaced it. Okay, I like this, but I feel like that pink needs to go right there. That's a little better. And then I feel like we want to have like something right there. So maybe I do like more of just black and white stamps. I love doing just some black and white stamps on envelopes. I love these airmail ones, or a 4-cent Lincoln one, but ooh, maybe I don't want to have that other one on there because it takes up so much of the sky. What if we... No. No. There we go. I think just those three. It does look like Wicked colors. Green and pink. Okay. Put those on. And then you know what? Everything we've used on the envelope today is waterproof. The acrylic marker won't bleed. The gel pen even the white gel pen I used won't bleed. The black marker I used for my address won't bleed. So we don't have to do anything to protect this envelope, which I think is kind of amazing. Grabbing my glue stick, and I'll just use the back of that. I like to use a glue stick on the back of these very vintage postage stamps because while the adhesive will activate if you add moisture, sometimes they just don't want to stick down because they are just so old. So I like to just reinforce it with the glue stick. Okay. All right. Andrea, your envelope is all finished. That was fun. I loved like basing it on the postage stamps. I think that's so fun. You don't trust glue sticks, Pam. They work really well for these stamps because for one thing, it adds adhesive on the back, but it also adds moisture. So it's going to activate the adhesive already on the stamp itself. So you kind of have that double protection. So it worked really well. Yeah, there is a black ballet one stamp that's really neat. All right, here's the envelope. I don't know if I'm going to edit this down or not for our edited replay. Maybe. I don't know. But if I do, let's do a little spiel for us watching it. So here is the finished envelope. Really simple design at the end of the day, but adds a little color and it matches Barbie's jersey. And I just thought it was super fun. It was a great inspiration for the envelope itself. Thanks for watching today. I will be back with another video very soon. Thanks for watching. All right. So if you guys have any other questions, I just saw a question fly by. Will it flake? No, it's because it's the acrylic paint from the markers is very flexible, and like it just bends with the paper itself. Now, if you were to use actual acrylic paint that you're painting on with a brush, it might go on a little bit thicker and you might get some flaking that way, but this is like such a thin layer and it is so flexible that I don't think there would be any issue with putting this through the mail. That being said, like I mentioned before, I'll probably put this in another envelope to mail it out just because I I've had some issues recently. I don't know why. Like some people have not received their envelopes that I mailed like over a month ago. So it just makes me nervous. So, do you like these acrylic markers better than Grady's? I think so, only because the color selection is larger. You can get like practically any color under the sun. The thing that I don't like about them, and Grady has the same issue, is that if you run out of a color, you can't just buy just the color. You have to like buy the whole set again. And that could be costly if you're using the same color over and over again. But yeah, that's just a minor thing. I have not run out of any colors, that being said. So pretty great. All right, everyone have a lovely evening. I'm going to go have some dinner here in a moment. And I have a few videos for you guys actually that I need to edit. So I owe you guys lots of videos. So hopefully those will come soon. Until then, have a lovely week. I hope you find time for some crafting. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching and thanks for joining tonight.